Play.
Hello. There's a first time for everything. And sorry, had to turn off some sound. But here we are covering the Draper Mannarino match. Nick, thank goodness you're joining me.
Hello. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you on your own. Just be prepared for me to regenerate and have a Polish accent at some point during the stream.
Yes. It's the transformation from Brit to a Pole. Yes. How are you?
I'm all right. I've probably been running around like a crazy person for the last 45 minutes, as you could probably imagine. But yes, it's we're doing all right. We're doing all right. You look like you're enjoying sort of the bright New York autumn sunshine.
Yes, it is an actually beautiful sunny day today, which is awesome. And hi, Retro in the chat. Hello in the chat, everyone who's joining us to watch this Jack Draper Mannarino match, which I have on at the moment. It's been really great so far. There was a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning. I think I posted in the chat, but Mannarino chose to receive, and Jack Draper was serving, and he lost serve in the first game. But ever since then, he broke back in the second game, and now they've just been holding serve, which has been very interesting. A lot of aces from Jack, which Mannarino has been challenging pretty much all of them, which has been fun.
How is he not out of challenges already?
Well, so he only has one left. It was in the fifth game, and he only has one challenge left. But every ace, he'd be like, and I'm like, Mannarino, you can't challenge every serve. But
this is, and that kind of behavior kind of suggests that mentally Mannarino might be losing this set. Like
exactly, or he's trying to find a way. I don't know. It's actually really nice to see. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Sofia Open was kind of a rush, replacement for the Tel Aviv tournament.
Not unlike the stream.
Huh?
Not unlike the stream.
Not Yes. And I've been watching some of it mostly, which is really funny. I really thought I would be sticking mostly to the Mets Open this period. It was like that was the 250 I picked based on the draws, but I haven't watched. I think I've watched only one match of the Mets Open, and I've been sticking to the Sofia Open because I've loved this little run that Jack Draper is doing. He challenged him again.
Is he about to lose all his challenges? This is going to be interesting.
Lose all his challenges, but I don't know why he keeps challenging. I guess it's some sort of strategy from him.
Hang on a minute. Isn't Mannarino serving?
Now he is. Yes. But there was just something hit the line, and he challenged, and it was in. But okay. But yeah, so I have been watching the Sofia Open. What I was just going to say is it's been pretty sparse. Like no one's been at this tournament. There'd be like 10 people in the crowd. So it's really nice for the finals. Everyone's out. I'm actually shocked to see people. Yeah, it's like a really packed house for the finals, which is really nice to see.
Good day out in Sofia if you're there.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a shame Grigor isn't playing because he would have definitely brought the crowds during the week.
He would, exactly. But his season is that was a nice. Oh, was it out? Oh, it was out. Was it out?
This is a question I ask on a regular basis whilst I'm streaming.
Draper just tried for a backhand passing shot, but it was out. So it is okay. I am a point behind, I guess, but now we're okay. Mannarino sealed it with an ace of his own, and now we're 4-all
Cool.
in
Hi, Ria, by the way. Nice to see you.
Hi, Ria.
Um,
Hi.
nice to have you here. Yeah. Okay. Would love to know a little bit about sort of the dynamic of this match. So obviously you're saying that Mannarino broke and then Draper broke immediately back. And so far,
Mhm.
Mannarino is probably a little bit rattled. He's trying to certainly upset the flow a little bit with all these challenges. How are there? How would you have described the rallies so far in this set? I know we've got a bit of a lefty versus lefty dynamic, so it's kind of a mirror to what we're used to.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all been, and I don't know, they've all just been baseline rallies. Like no one's coming in net. That was so two just really great aces by Draper here. Mannarino can't challenge anymore. So he's just looking at the line.
Like this.
He's just looking at the line because he can't challenge anymore. Oh, ace number 3. Here we go. Is he gonna ace out this whole game?
Federer-esque, if so.
Yeah. Here we go. This would be the last one if he does. Now well, it wasn't an ace. Mannarino returned it, but it was out. Yeah, that was nice. That was very quick hold. That was very, very quick. But yeah, so so far it's just been baseline rallies, and Jack has been throwing in a lot of aces, and I that might be his strategy here against Mannarino. So maybe Mannarino had a point to chat, but you can't. He's out of challenges now. He can't really do much of anything for the rest of it.
Nice to see you, Matthew, in the chat. Okay, so yeah, this is
Hey,
interesting. It's going to be
Matthew.
interesting to see how Mannarino deals with serve, because that was a rocket game, and now this is a crunch point. It's going to be interesting to see how Mannarino handles the situation. Adrian Mannarino is a player who has definitely had I mean, he's the ultimate late bloomer, really. It's taken him into his 30s to kind of
This
prove
is his
himself a little bit.
best season, I think.
Yeah.
I think I heard the commentators say that earlier, that this has been his best season so far. He
Is he a
already
career
has.
high?
I don't know if his ranking is at a career high. I'll have to look, but I do know he has
This is
2
his
titles
fourth
this
final. This
year.
is his fourth final of the season. He's won 2 of them.
Yeah, yeah. And he only has 4 titles overall in his career. So he's won half his titles in this year alone, which is so impressive. And again, he is in his late 30s or mid 30s, sorry. And it is so nice to see that you can kind of have that resurgence now. You kind of see a little similarity with Grigor, who had a super great season this year as well. So yeah, we'll see. My thing here is there hasn't been, other than the very first game, no one has really had break points here. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what Jack
I'm
can
just
do.
looking at Mannarino's career statistics, and yeah, his career high is 22, which he reached in 2018. But I believe he's actually in a battle for French #1 with Hugo Humbert,
With
who
Hugo
is
Humbert
in
today.
the other tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever, see, I'm not sure what happens if they both win. I think Hugo Humbert is like 15 points ahead. So if they
He is, yeah.
both win, Hugo would keep it, but he would need, if he wins this, he would need Hugo to lose to get
Who's
that
Hugo
number
playing?
1 rank. Again, I really didn't pay attention. Oh, you know who he's playing?
Shevchenko.
Oh, yes,
Interesting.
yes. Who took that Swiss indoors form and brought it to Metz. He was playing really well.
Interesting. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the ATP's live rankings to get the info, and they haven't. They've actually not updated it to say that Karen Khachanov lost his match.
Oh, interesting.
But he did. They've not given him any more points or anything like that. They've just forgotten to say that he lost to Shevchenko in the quarters.
Yeah.
Um,
Which that was shocking. That was surprising. I saw the scores and I had to go back and watch the replay because I didn't even think of it. Like I just thought, oh, it'll be fine. Matthew's asking how often has Dimitrov played this event? I'm not sure. You could probably look it up, but this is technically his home tournament, which doesn't exist on the calendar anymore, I believe. I think it's just here for
yeah, I think it came in because the
cover.
tour was supposed to go to Tel Aviv
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. Probably not the safest place to stage a tennis tournament they're in it. So
Not at the moment.
yeah, so that's why they're here. I'm just having a look at it. So it's been a thing since 2016. Dimitrov has won it in 2017. Yeah, give me a few minutes and I can look it up if
Yeah.
how often Dimitrov has played it. So he played it in 2017. So he didn't play the inaugural event in 16. Oh, interesting. The 2017 final, he played Goffin, and then they had that rematch in the
Oh,
02 final.
nice.
Okay, didn't play 2018, 2019.
Ooh.
Where are we at?
Well, I think I'm ahead of the scores that you can see, but it's the longest rally. It's the longest rally I've seen this whole match, but Draper's really fighting to try and break here, at least, get an opportunity. And he came to net and tried to volley, but it was a volley out. And Mannarino is still trying to ace, but his aces are really going out wide. Or
Interesting.
his serves are really going out wide, sorry.
He's overdoing it a little bit.
Yeah, he's overdoing it a bit.
I've got the information we want to
Now we're
answer
at
Matthew's
deuce.
question.
Okay.
To answer Matthew's question, Dimitrov, given this event's been here since 2016, he's only played the event twice, 2017 and 2022.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He won 2017 and then lost in round 2 after having a bye to Ilya Ivashka.
You would think he would have played it more, but
Yeah,
it
same.
is at an odd time, and I'm guessing it's always been around this time in the calendar, maybe? I'm not sure.
Not this late. Like the 2022
Okay.
Sofia Open was in September, last week of September, which is, and actually looking back at it, that's traditionally when it's been. It's moved around a lot actually. So before 2020, it was in February.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Straight after the Aussie
Very
Open.
different. Yeah.
First week of
Very
February.
different.
And then they moved it. Then 2020 happened, and they moved it to about this time. And then last couple of years, it's been the last week of September, first week of October.
Yeah. Okay, so we're 5-all now, and I have to say that's been the hardest hold all for the whole match so far. That was really tough. Jack was really trying to end the set there, but Mannarino was able to hang on, and here we go.
Which Mannarino has a history of hanging on and making things competitive. That's what makes him so dangerous. I think the first time I ever came across him was actually it was a match at Queen's Club against James Ward, as a name blast from the past. I want to say 2010 or 2011. Might have been 2011. And that ended up being an absolute marathon deciding set. And I was thinking, oh, this guy. And so I've been like poking up. Oh yeah, Mannarino, he's that guy who I watched before. But he's actually seems to be delivering on it, as we were talking about very much later in his career. I'm going to have to look it up and see what it was.
Yeah. So the first 2 points in this game here were aces. I just never, I mean, I know Jack Draper is a great server, but I've just never seen him do this many in a row just all the time. And it is getting frustrating for Mannarino. He just dropped his racket there at 30 love because he can't challenge anymore.
Here we go. Here's the match I was talking about. So another Brit. James Ward played Adrian Mannarino in the quarterfinals of 2011. So I got that year right.
Okay.
Ward won 6-2, 6-7, 6-4. But that tie break in the middle set was 16-14. And actually Ward then, so actually they ended up 2 Brits in the semi-finals because Andy Murray won that year. But Ward played Zonga and lost 6-3, 7-6. But again, another tough tie break, 9-7. But yes, you can see why watching that 16-14 tiebreak, which I'm remembering now,
Yeah.
Mannarino would have stuck with me.
another ace from Draper.
I mean, you're better placed to answer this question than I am, Anastasia. Your opinion probably matters on this.
I completely understand this comment. I completely understand this comment because his shirt is really long. He wears his shirt really, really long. And it's funny. I don't know if he's sponsored or not. I don't know who makes these clothes, but it looks very sort of Lululemon-ish, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't, but okay.
It gives very, the colors are always muted. It's always sort of earthy tones, and he wears his shirt really long. So yes, I can understand why some might think it's pajamas, but it's not. He just wears it very long. And it's very interesting because I don't think because
Going off from what you were just saying about how long his shirt is.
The fabric it doesn't look technical. It doesn't look like technical fabric that's like super wicking. It looks like a soft cottony material. So I complete. Oh, but it is Lululemon. I knew it is. They literally just showed. They zoomed in on the logo on his shirt, and it is Lululemon because their logos are so tiny. They're super tiny. So you never really know. But
yeah, because I've not seen any, I've just Googled images of Adrian Mannarino and I don't see anything with a clear sponsorship on it. But, if the logos are really tiny,
they are so, they're tiny and they almost are the same color as whatever the fabric is. So it's really hard to tell. And I think someone just put it, Rhea was like, I think, so it is Lululemon, but I guess he's not sponsored by them, which is interesting.
Matthew, to answer your question, does anyone have any interest in Next Gen Finals? You are looking at the biggest Next Gen Finals promoter. Biggest Next Gen Finals promoter I have ever met in Anastasia.
Next Gen for the win.
There you go.
I love Next Gen. And it's funny because I think Talking Tennis did a Twitter Spaces that Damien was talking in. And, I was saying how Damien really got me this year into watching challengers to discover new players and just see what's out there. But Next Gen was always that for me. Next Gen was always sort of, okay, who are the young guys coming up? And, I would pick players that I would then follow through to the next season. And, I was listening to either listen to this or read it, but who knows where you hear these things, where someone was saying, is Next Gen necessary anymore? Because the reason Next Gen started was because you had all the big guys kind of at the end of their career. So you had the Rafa, Nadal, Djokovic, they were getting older, and the ATP was trying to sort of push the younger generation and make them a little bit more to give them name recognition. And someone was saying, well, the next gen is here already. Like, do we still need a next gen tournament? And I'm like, yes, definitely, because I think it's an opportunity for younger players to sort of get a little bit of the spotlight. So it's like they have their own ATP Finals kind of thing. And I'm excited for this year. This year, I think I only know 3 so far of the ones who've qualified. Like, I've seen the other names and I don't really recognize them. So I'll be interested to actually watch the tournament and see, how they play.
Draper's not eligible, is he? I thought he was.
No, I don't think he is.
He's not showing up in the race to Jeddah.
Is he 21 or 22?
He's 21 at the minute. His birthday's in December. His birthday's on the 12th of December, on the 22nd of December.
Oh.
He'll turn 22.
Why isn't he eligible?
I don't know, but he's not showing up.
Does he just not have enough points, which is crazy to think?
No, he's not on the rankings list. I've checked.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But yeah, who is going to next gen? Because I'm looking at the race to Jeddah, and obviously Alcaraz and Rune aren't going to play it because they've already won it.
Musetti isn't playing, and Shelton's not playing.
Shelton's not playing. So basically, it's everyone from Feast downwards.
Yes, so and so far the only people they've announced that have qualified are Feast, Luca Van Asch, the Italian Flavio
Cobolli.
Flavio Cobolli, and then they have
Dominic
Stricker. Yes, Stricker. Oh, it's gonna be so fun to see Stricker. I like him. he seems like a fun player. And then they have a wild card they've announced already. He actually played in Metz. He's from. I'll have to let me look it up. Because he played in Metz, and I think the only reason I know him too is that he goes to the Rafael Nadal Academy, and they post him a lot on social media.
He's Italian, right?
No, he's not Italian. I think he's from Jordan.
Oh, Jordan.
Yes.
Oh, Abdullah Shobai.
Yes. He is a wild card for next year.
He lost to Sonego in Metz. Yeah. Interesting.
So he's
not surprising given where they're playing.
Tiebreak time. It's going to be a Mannarino tiebreak.
We've got lots of really good questions in chat, but I think we're going to leave it because I think we need to focus on the match that's actually happening. But we will come back to that if you guys just put them in the chat again. If you guys want to make sure we ask us, but just post it in the chat when the tiebreak is done. But yeah. And breaking news from Billie Jean King Cup. Italy is through to the final, beating Slovenia 2-0. Not a surprise there. It's going to be Czech versus Canada. That's going to be absolutely fascinating. With Vondrousova taking on Fernandez in another lefty battle. Now that one is going to be good.
That one's going to be good. Okay,
but yeah, Matthew says Hart says Draper, head says Adrian to win it.
Oh, I'm with your heart. Okay, so we start off with an ace, obviously, from Draper.
Big serving from both players today. And I think you're right. Draper's not a player that we typically think of as a big server, but we tend to look at his ground strokes more. But I think when I'm thinking about it, it doesn't surprise me. Like, I think, oh yeah, no, he does have a big serve. Doesn't make sense otherwise. It's just a big game all round.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ghosty thinking Mannarino's tiebreak experience will help him out here.
Maybe. Okay, so we're 1-1 here. Again, sorry, but my stream is a point behind the scores.
It's fine. Don't worry. Damien will come and rescue us in 15 minutes.
Yes. Damien to the rescue.
Damien fixes everything.
He does. He's so good at it.
And he'll be able to tell us all about how great the Challenger Tour is, and maybe even give his opinion on the next gen as well.
On the next gen tournament. Oh, yeah, that would be actually really interesting to see what he thinks of the next gen.
Yeah.
Oh, give me 2 seconds.
That's the. I mean, let's face it. The next gen is probably the closest thing we're going to get to kind of an ATP Finals for the Challenger Tour. I think they experimented with the idea, but it doesn't seem to actually be working. So I experimented with the idea, but I haven't heard anything from it kind of since. Again, that's maybe a question for Damien when he arrives. Apologies if you're not, if you're expecting me to kind of fill you in on what's happening. Draper's currently still in front of this tie break. It's going on serve. I am having worse technical difficulties than Anastasia, which means that it's kind of on her to let you know what's going on. But it's all right because, Anastasia usually makes everything okay.
I'm back.
Oh, don't worry.
Yes, we're still on serve so far in this tiebreak.
Yeah, still serve, which is no surprise, really. I mean, do we think? I mean, I mentioned a couple of marathon tiebreaks from Queen's Club 12 years ago, one of which Mannarino was involved in. Are we going to have another one?
Let's see.
We go past 6-6. That would be
so far in this tiebreak. What's happening is Mannarino is definitely winning the he's winning the rallies so far. Like to get it to 3-3 there, Draper just hit it was a backhand that went a little long, just a little long. It was like this much out. But Mannarino seems to be winning the rallies here, while Draper is just acing him on his serve.
Sorry, Jane, you will be pleased to know that your comment on the idea of Mario dancing in the streets has now been shared in the Talking Tennis group chat. You are now. So yes, we're all enjoying your idea, the idea here, the image you are conjuring, and of Damien as well, actually. So Jack Draper is trying to get this first set, a set that, I mean, like based on how the first set's gone before the tie break, Draper should win it, but obviously we've seen how tie breaks can completely change how tennis works. Like how many of those Wimbledon final tie breaks against Roger Federer did Djokovic win, despite being not the better player in the set leading up to them?
Yeah. And I think in this match so far, it's actually been pretty even. That was some fancy volleying at the net by Jack Draper. It was a forehand that hit the net from Mannarino and then just sort of like bounced up a little bit. And Draper had to sort of, in the most awkward position, volley it over, and he made it. That was nice.
Interesting.
He hasn't been great at the nets. It always just seems a little awkward. Oh.
Draper.
Yes, Draper. Mm-hmm.
And that's something that he could develop over his career.
True. Yeah. No. Definitely. There's still time for sure.
Maybe there's a maybe there's a theory that, and I don't know whether there's a data to back this up, that players become better volleyers the further into their careers they get.
Yeah.
Like maybe your top volleyers are like your older players.
And I don't know. He's not someone who has played doubles, right? I'm trying to think, and I just don't think I've ever seen him kind of play doubles. I think that really does help the players a little bit.
I'll check his
develop
activity.
that skill. Huh?
I'll check his activity.
Yeah, I don't think he has, but it's something that I think, at least on the women's tour, a lot. I think a lot of more of their higher ranked players do play doubles, and it seems to help with their net game.
Okay, so the last time Jack Draper played doubles was in February 2022 in a
With who?
challenger in Cherbourg.
Damien.
He played with Alexander Richard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You played the final maybe against him in one of these events as well, or maybe a semi. Like around the time, but of course a singles. I'm talking about a singles final. It was 2 weeks later, basically. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm here. I just saw 1 point so far, which was that one at 5-6 just now.
Isn't it funny how Damien just knows everyone? Like, he just jumped in the conversation. He's like, "Oh, I know that guy." I'm like, "How?"
No, Alexander Richard. I mean, he has a challenger title. You know, I have to know him.
See?
But yeah. What is it going to say? Yeah, if anything can go wrong today, I'm sure it's gonna go wrong. Jesus, I can't believe I even made it onto the stream.
Do you know what? But without going too much into behind the scenes, we're kind of all in the same position here, Damien.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we are.
Like, I'm coming in expected to watch the match and then discover I can't watch the match. Anastasia is not expected to be on the stream, but somehow she's here.
Are you also unable to access your credit card?
I don't want to talk about it. Oh, Mannarino's got Mannarino might be about to snatch this set.
Yeah. Do you have the stream up, Damien?
Yeah, I started watching at 5-6, I think.
Okay, sweet.
5-6 in the tiebreak, not 5-6 before the tiebreak.
Okay, be interested to see where you two are in relation to each other then. Obviously, we know what we've got the scoreboard.
The wizard is now, well, basically he just served for the second time, and Draper fired this wild forehand return that was long. So when were the breaks traded? What sort of stage of the set?
The breaks were right at the start of the match, like the first two games.
Okay.
First 2 games. Yeah.
So classic, I guess. First 2 games breaks and then nothing.
And then the rest of it's been serve botting.
Surprisingly.
Someone had to win the tiebreak. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Of course, Adrian Mannarino fighting for the third title this year, and also the French #1. Very important, big deal.
Hey, it's a big deal because, like, you know, who's going to get the top billing when they go and play in France? But obviously, that's kind of dependent on how Hugo Humbert does in Metz against Shevchenko.
Yeah, the ball is in Humbert's court, really. Regardless of if Mannarino loses this, then of course Humbert is already the French #1. But even if Mannarino wins, he can still do that. He can still get there if he beats Alexander Shevchenko.
I think he's looking for because his career high is 22, so we'll get him up near that area as well.
Both guys, I think, right? Humbert and Mannarino. I mean, I think they are both like on the verge of their career highs and potentially even top 20. Yeah.
Which, given how bad Humbert's season was in 2022, that's quite a recovery.
Yeah, around the grass, I think he fell like to 170 in the world or something. Started pulling off some strong challenger results, and of course this year has just been one of the best of his career. I struggle to call it the best because, you know, he had 2 titles in 2020. He had 1 in 2021. This year he won these 2 175s, of course. But no, I don't know. The Mets title would definitely just have it right up there as the best season of Hugo Humbert's career. And it's definitely the best season of Adrian Mannarino's career.
Yes. We were talking about it earlier. He's definitely having a renaissance moment, I would say.
Yeah, and it's even better than what he was producing earlier. So, yeah, it's quite impressive, honestly. I mean, 35 years of age.
Oh, I totally missed that. So, just talking about this first set here, and because I had missed, Jack Draper had a moment with his racket and his bag at the end of this first set here, because it's been pretty close. It's been pretty close the whole time. So it's a shame that he lost that one on some really, it was just like the forehand that went long there, and that sort of thing. So let's see how this second set goes.
I think the 6-all point was like a weird drop shot attempt.
Yeah.
That was probably worse. There he just sort of tries to go for that forehand return on the set went down.
And it's the fine margins in tennis that decide. Like, that was a very, very close set. And at the end of the day, it was really one mistake that defined it. And it's good. It hurts that it's just one mistake, but at the same time, it's one mistake.
First set that Draper dropped all week as well, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was sort of hoping for this angle where he wins this without losing a set, and then I would be able to say that Bergamo was tougher for him than Sofia. But, at this stage it's kind of unclear. We'll see what happens from here. But maybe if he wins the next two like quite easily, then it would still be easier for him than Bergamo.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go into the background for a little bit. I might pop back in a few, but I'll let you guys keep going.
But tell you what, we'll actually Anastasia's going to want to listen in on this conversation. So before you came on, Damien, we were actually talking about the next gen finals.
Yes.
Yeah. And basically Matthew asked in the chat, is anyone interested in it? And Anastasia is one of the biggest promoter of the next gen finals that I've ever met. And we were like, we would love to know what your thoughts on it are, and how much you're going to be, given that most of these players are probably going to be Challenger Tour regulars.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I like the event. It seems like it's kind of perfect for me. Young guys, that's also something that I focus myself on. Of course, that's not the only thing that the Challenger Tour is about, but certainly, players who are not yet at their potential, who haven't maximized their abilities yet. This is something that I'm really interested in. And yeah, most of these guys, as you said, are pretty much Challenger regulars. So yeah, that's the event is perfect for me. I do understand, though, that there are certain issues with it regarding the fact that, well, this year you have Alcaraz, Rune, Musetti, Shelton, who either can't play or don't want to play. And who is really going to be the draw for casual audiences? Yeah. The only, and honestly, he does not get as much hype as he should.
As he should.
I don't think,
Yes.
I don't think he's
Agreed.
that much of a draw yet. Whereas, the other guys, I'm sorry, but no one is gonna be watching this for. Well, we'll see if it's Kazo or Nardi, I guess, in the 7th spot. But Mikkelsen, Koboli, I love these guys, but yeah, I don't think this will be a popular edition of the event. I think the previous ones had just a lot more star power, even with guys like Alcaraz, Rune, Sinner, frequently. Alcaraz also not playing last year, Rune also not playing last year, Sinner not playing. But I think the events just had more star power. Like last year, you had Draper and Musetti, right, in the same group as well. You also had, I guess, Nakashima. The difference wasn't as huge. The difference wasn't huge, but I think this edition might be like the least appealing, to just a casual fan. So I think there is a problem.
I would completely agree with that assessment. Do we want to talk about the fact we've got break points for Jack Draper?
Yeah, and he did look a little wary after first or second rally of the game. Of course, now they're playing another one that just won't end. Back and cross court. Actually, Mannarino switches things up, but it didn't change anything in that they're still playing. And there's a drop shot. Wow, that's super smart, actually. Great drop shot from Draper, and then he follows it up. I was certain that he was going to play a lob. He just plays this super slow banana pass, just capitalizing on the fact that Mannarino is going to be running the other way anyway. You can just play the shot however you like. Point of the year, says Matthew. Wow. How long was that?
Ooh.
How long was the rally? Because I think I tuned
It was
into it
it was a
midway.
let me see if they put it out, but
Jane, it was I Wanna Dance with Somebody. That Stricker was singing along to.
I love Dominic Stricker and his musical tastes.
Yeah, so I don't know how long this rally was because I think I tuned in like midway, but maybe it was really
It
long.
had to be about
end of the year.
It had to be about 15 to 20 shots, but I can't. They're not saying. It was nice because I had been saying earlier that Jack Draper was not winning the rallies. So that was a nice change of pace for sure.
The question is, can he capitalize on it? Because, yeah, Draper's definitely had more of an in on Mannarino's service games.
Okay. There was one at 5-4, right? That was like pretty close.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember checking the scores during my walk.
But obviously, the earlier you break, the more pressure you're under to maintain the advantage. I'm not saying Draper's not capable of it because, as you said, like he's won a challenger title. You don't do that without dealing with some pressure like that. But it's that's going to be the key thing here that's going to get himself back into this match and force a decider. Eleanor's interested, definitely finding this match interesting.
Yeah, and I guess it's the last match of the season for Draper besides the Davis Cup Finals, so like he's gonna go all in. There's not going to be any, if the physical issues come up again, I guess there's going to be every single ounce of determination to get this done. Of course, his first title as well. He didn't have a final before, right? There were just like some semis, but
yeah, I think this is his first final.
I think he had a semi at the beginning of the season. Maybe that was it even. I'm not sure. Oh, and I guess the next gen finals, but do we count it?
Yeah, I guess. Let me have a look. I'm on his ATP profile now because I was looking up his doubles record.
Oh, wait. Damien, did you say Draper had done the next gen final? Like next gen?
Semis last year, yeah.
Semis last. Okay, so because we were wondering why he wasn't even on the list for this year.
Well, I don't think he qualifies, right? He was born in
21.
Yeah,
he was born in
2001. But it's about the birth year. It's about the birth year, not about the when you were born. So he was born in December, so technically he's still 21, but it's about when you were born. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's fine.
I think maybe Lehechka is in a similar. When is Lehechka's birthday?
I think Lehechka's in the same boat.
3 days ago. So it's like, okay, so he is actually 22 already, but fairly similar. I think maybe, but Shevchenko would be older than that, right? He's 2000. But he I guess last year he wouldn't be eligible for the ATP Finals despite being 21. But of course, last year he wasn't in the conversation. But yeah, Draper was super fun last year at the next gen finals for sure. Had that straight up shootout with Musetti to who exits the group because Stricker beat everyone. But he actually demolished Musetti and then lost to Nakashima. But yeah, he's not eligible because he was born in 2001.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? I also love the fact that they trial all these new rules at next gen. Have you heard about the sort of shot clock one they're doing now?
What's is there a change this year or is this the same?
Yeah, there's a change. They're saying you're gonna have, I think it's 8 seconds in between first and second serves.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how. I kind of have to see how it works, but in general, I like it. I think there are certain players who definitely abuse the fact that we don't have a rule like that and just spend 15 seconds, between their serves. But I like that what they had in the previous edition. So basically, if you have an ace, an unreturned serve, a return doesn't make it over the net or a double fault, it's only 15 seconds between the serve. I think that was really good.
I mean, I'm gonna say something perhaps controversial. I get what we're saying with trying to make sure that there's a little bit more streamlined to the game and speeding things up. But I like the tension that happens when someone misses a first serve at like 30-40 or break point down or match point up. That sort of extra time to compose yourself before the second serve is, to me, that's kind of building the tension. You can feel the crowd on the edge of their seats. I think that adds something to it.
Sorry to stop you there, but Jack Draper with another one of these on the stretch forehand down the lines that he hit against Musetti as well, and also against Goffin in the Bergamo final. It's been like his best shot the last couple of days.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
Well, maybe not the best, but the flashiest for sure. He's getting some ridiculous winners with it.
Draper showing off and trying to get a double break here.
Yeah, personally, I get what you mean, but to be honest with you, I am one of these people who kind of has issues watching one tennis match at a time right now, just because I got so used to watching like at least, well, if not two matches at the same time, then a match and something else at the same time, like whatever. It doesn't have to be tennis. Yeah, my attention span actually kind of hurts when a player has a billion seconds to prepare for the next point, and yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is all they're doing all of this to try and help speed up matches and speed up the game a bit. So we'll see how it works.
I mean, you want to speed up the game, basically just go back to more grass courts and using carpet indoors.
Yeah, but then you have aces. And again,
that wasn't a serious suggestion, Damien. Like, I would get bored watching that as well.
Yeah, I did just watch, a carpet event live, and it was fine. But I think if I was there for 5 times a year, probably would be bored with it. Even as a fan of aggressive tennis, of volleying, of whatever, even of big servers, honestly, I still would get bored. Also, the fact that there's little tactical depth to the matches.
The Ivo Karlovic fan coming out here.
Yeah. Totally. I'm proud of it. I don't know why, but I'm proud of it, yes.
I've just thought of the craziest mixed doubles partnership ever of combining two of our favorite players, which would be Ivo Karlovic and Leila Fernandez. The height difference alone would be hilarious, and the fact they play so differently would also be quite fun. I'd
like that. I wonder if Karlovic played a lot of mixed doubles, because I don't really remember him at anything. Doubles, yeah. I mean, he had lots of titles, but lots maybe is a stretch, but I'm pretty sure he had a few. 2 at the ATP level, I guess. But mixed, he only played one match ever. With Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good combo, actually. I played?
French. No, Pavlyuchenkova. 2015 French Open. Yeah, I know. 2015 French Open, Farah and Atao. Interesting.
That was a tough first round opener for them.
Yeah. We cannot have this yet. Rafa is coming back. Yeah, I think Rafa will be a little irrelevant if he comes back now.
And also,
or won't be relevant for a long enough amount of time for us to try to focus the rules on him.
And also, I actually think Djokovic is worse for taking time between first and second serve than Rafa.
Yes. It's like a whole...
I think these two were a large part of why the shot clock was introduced. It actually didn't speed up the game, and it was still used very just inconsistently. So I don't know if it actually worked, but I think they were part of the reason why.
And let's be honest, Roger and Andy also frequently have their moments, or had their moments.
Really? I mean, Federer was probably like the fastest.
Roger definitely needed a couple. I've definitely seen Roger needing to like take time between first and second serves sometimes.
Maybe, but like in general, I think he was one of the fastest. Kyrgios definitely.
Between points, yeah, he's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the shot clock between the points I support. It's the shot clock between serves I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, it depends how it's gonna be even like turned on, because if it's gonna have to be the umpire who does it, I think it might be really again like just lead to a lot of inconsistency, and that's not everyone will do it at the same time. Then not everyone will punish the players when they go over. So I'd like to see it, like, I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe there's going to be some sort of a way to do it electronically, which would be much better, but I don't know if that technology exists really. Draper kind of flying right now.
Yeah.
Ball keeps handing players the towel. Matthews says.
Well, they're not doing that anymore. That was something that I'm quite glad has stayed away after COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that. I don't think that's coming back. No. That was just uncalled for, I guess, in a way. Why would they
I was
take
just
these sweaty towels?
And I don't know if you've noticed, Damien, if you've watched Draper's matches in Sofia so far, but did he shave? Like, for the finals?
I thought we were going to get some kind of like tennis insight here of like so his forehand. It's like, no, so did he shave?
No.
That's why I laughed.
This is part of tennis. This is part of it. If you do not shave or cut your hair between matches, who does that? This is no.
I know what you mean. There's definitely been instances where like players wouldn't shave until the end of the event or something. I think maybe Federer ATP Finals 2015, for example. I'm sure there's something more recent. Like I think they simply think that it will bring them bad luck or something like that. But did he shave? I actually don't know. I even did the stream for Draper Musetti with someone. Draper Musetti. Who was that with?
What, next gen?
Yeah, Vange. No. This week.
Oh,
and I don't know if he was clean shaven or there. Or
okay, thank you. So Rhea totally agrees with me. You cannot shave mid tournament. It's not allowed.
I mean, the easiest thing to do is just not to shave full stop, right, Damien?
I'm past that phase now, right?
I mean, I feel like it would be better if John was on the stream and then he could like nod an agreement as well, but sadly he's not available.
Yeah, the moment I realized I'm gonna have to leave my house, I decided to shave. But I don't think Jack Draper ever really got to this stage, He's not Benoit Paire or I don't know.
Actually, you don't tend to see tennis players like really growing their facial hair out. You see them like doing stubble, like Djokovic will do, but they never really go full on grow it out.
I think the most I've noticed, if anything, remember Alcaraz's run through Wimbledon, and at the end he looked like he had like I was like, wait, what happened? How did you grow this beard between Queens and the end of Wimbledon? But I don't think he shaved from Queens through to Wimbledon, which was really interesting.
Yeah, but he was still fairly like, I know what you mean, but like he wasn't necessarily discernible.
Oh no. No one's like, I think someone said that you said it in the chat as well, but no one's Benoit Paire. Like that's
yeah. Benoit Paire. I forgot about Benoit Paire. Don't know why I forgot about Benoit Paire. No one should forget about Benoit Paire.
He's the beard.
Yeah. He is the tennis beard. He wins that one.
Ooh.
Actually, the
Break
tennis beard
point
could mean
here for
something else,
Draper.
maybe not. Breakpoint Draper. Okay.
Yeah, break points for Draper here.
Interesting.
Oh, there.
You can hear Damien multitasking in the background.
Yes.
Oh, so you can hear the keyboard.
The typing?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's currently trying to commentate on this match whilst also watching every challenger stream that's currently happening right now.
Yeah, I'm sort of doing that. I have to post a video of Mutez saving a match point, which was pretty crazy. Basically defended like a couple of smashes. Because I don't have like the whole tripod with me or something, I have to sort of work my way around this. Hopefully I moved my microphone to a place where you won't hear the typing, but
Yeah.
let's see. We'll figure things out.
Okay, so we're at a little changeover here, and I just wanted to bring up some news. If you guys have seen it yet, what you think. It looks like Tsitsipas, he had to cancel his practice today or something.
Oh?
Yeah, I just read them.
A little bit of a back issue. I
Was it
saw a video of
elbow?
him trying to serve and he couldn't. So
I read elbow, by the way. I don't know.
Is it elbow?
That's what I read.
Elbow?
I don't know.
Something. Is anyone calling her catch? Is anyone on the phone?
Well,
He
must be on his way,
Yeah.
surely.
I mean, he's in Turin.
Right?
Two alternates have to be
Yeah.
in Turin. They get paid for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Because
And
so okay. Did you see that tennis TV? Did you see that tennis TV drawing, like the thing they did?
I did.
Let me see if I can share it. I'll look it up and try and share it. But it was basically an art piece they did, and they put her catch and Taylor Fritz in it was basically an airport scene with everyone, the top 8 enter in the airport, and then just outside of the gates, they just had her catch and Taylor Fritz, which was quite interesting. But I think Taylor Fritz actually posted about it too. Let me see if I can find it. But I don't think Taylor is in Turin.
No, Taylor's injured, isn't he?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
be rude.
one has to be in Turin, and then the second, I guess, it's sometimes they have to just come up with whoever, like when Alex Stepanek played it. But Hurkacz is definitely in Turin. I mean, that's how they do it. So, and that would be actually good for the event if pulled out.
Yeah,
it would be so cool if I think it just throws that group into a bit of chaos. Actually,
he's in the Rune Sinner Djokovic group, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, then it's like a 3-way race for number 2, with Sinner the favorite, but not an overwhelming one.
Wait, what number 2? It's a 3-way race. Oh, so number 2 in the group. Sorry, number 2 in the group. I was like, what?
Number 2 in the group. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why my brain went.
Hurkacz will be the number 2. Yes.
That could have been funny.
Maybe in the future. I mean, he did have a very strong finish to 2023, so there is every potential to rise in the first half.
Yeah, I just think it would be really interesting if you throw Hurkacz into that group. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the first match on Sunday, wasn't that going to be Tsitsipas and Sinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you imagine that being Sinner and Ubi instead? Ooh.
Yeah, but Tsitsipas would draw. I mean, it's the most important event of the year, so.
Yeah. but
that took you a while at the start, yeah.
It did. It took me a minute. It took me a minute, but I got there.
That was brilliant, Damien. Absolutely brilliant.
Elena says not a lot of love for Steph. I just don't think he'll be that competitive in the group, whereas Hurkacz, I think, could. So yeah.
Wow,
that's really all my.
just a quick to bring us back. That was a quick, super quick hold by Jack Draper to take us to 5-1.
Yeah, second set is done. It's
Second
over.
set is done. Moving on.
I mean, the only play we wouldn't be saying this about is Andy Murray. If it's Andy Murray 5-1 up in the
Yeah.
second set, this would not be done.
And if it was Andy Murray 1-5 in the second set,
It would not be
maybe
done.
as well. Yeah. Yeah,
We would
yeah.
only be halfway through, It'd be everyone settle in, go grab a coffee. It's only just beginning.
Yeah, we wouldn't be in the second set yet if it was Andy Murray. It would probably be like a toilet break or whatever. Mannarino is also kind of playing like he wants this to go to a decider already now.
I
Yeah.
don't have time to expend the energy here. I am going to just put
Very
everything into it.
lively in his footwork, but he did win the point with an unreturned serve.
Going back to the ATP Finals, Sean's asking who has a better chance of being a dark horse, Tsitsipas or Zverev?
Zverev for sure. I don't think Tsitsipas
Yeah.
is in form for that.
And the group as well.
Yeah.
Zverev also isn't in form, but I can imagine Zverev just coming out and peaking like he did twice at the ATP Finals already.
If
So,
anything, Hurkacz has a better chance of being a dark horse than both of them if he plays.
yeah.
And he's not even in it yet. I'm
Hurkacz
just
has a
excited.
better chance of winning the ATP Finals than Tsitsipas. No, that's probably not true, given he's not in the event. But it's not that. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I would say pretty close to none. But yeah.
What do you think of the Sinner Novak match that will happen for sure? Because I just remember the match after Wimbledon and Sinner saying he had made strides. And I was sort of 20 votes and people 60% chance of Draper winning. Okay.
Someone just commented under my tweet and said, off topic, but Hurkacz replacing Tsitsipas in the ATP Finals. Is that official? Or is that
I don't think I haven't seen that it's official.
No, I think it's just Tsitsipas. We're kind of speculating based off Tsitsipas not practicing the day and struggling the day before he's supposed to play.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours before he's supposed to play.
Yeah, I don't think we've had an info like that. So probably the guy is just speculating.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I'm looking. I haven't seen anything, but
Yeah, me neither.
based off that video, I was like, well, what did he have earlier this year? Was it his shoulder?
Injury-wise,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember him being injured, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Damien, do you remember?
Tsitsipas?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, shoulder sounds right. That's the Indian Wells Miami thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He played Gary and Thompson. Yeah, I think he had a shoulder issue. Yes.
I am loving this from Jane suggesting that Hubie Hurkacz is a dark unicorn.
Yeah.
That works on so many levels because he's not even in the event.
Okay, I just saw a replay of a little. Wait, is this a replay or no? Actually, yes, it was a replay of a thing where it was a lob from Mannarino that Jack returned, which he did something earlier in the match where there was a smash that Mannarino did, and he, attempted to return it. And I'm just saying, Jack isn't that tall. He's like 6'2", 6'3", right? Because he's returning these like.
Jack is 6'4".
Oh, he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Oh,
but he's one of those players who's like, you don't realize how tall he is. Like, he's quite.
That's actually true. I remember when I saw him live in what was it, Helsinki, I think 2 years ago, and I literally couldn't recognize him because of the streams. He just didn't look like this massive, and yeah, both the physical build and also the height. I for a moment I just didn't even know who that was, despite watching him, plenty of times, and even on a good TV feed. Like this was after he played Novak at Wimbledon.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, he's getting to these shots that are just like, so far up, and I just didn't. He doesn't seem that he's that tall. But good. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys for a little bit. I will be back, but I'm going to leave you.
We dragged you to stay for an extra half an hour, so go for it. As we move into the deciding set, Jack Draper seals set 2 6-2. Yeah, we are into a decider in Sofia, and it's either going to be Mannarino winning a 5th career title, 3rd of the year, to cap off what will be his best season in his career, or Jack Draper winning his first, potentially overdue first tour level title. Obviously, he's won more than one challenger, hasn't he? 5 challenges, yeah.
4 last year. He was on 4 by April, maybe. Everything indoors. And then, of course, he didn't really play them anymore because he already got his ranking too.
Didn't need to. Am I right in remembering, by the way, because I said this before you came on stream, we would talk about the next gen finals and like how that's something that you're like, obviously it's going to be a big fan of it because it's like it's the closest thing to a tour finals for the Challenger Tour. But then I went, hang on, didn't the Challenger Tour bring in the tour finals?
There used to be a Challenger Tour finals thing, 2011 to 2015, mostly. Okay. Well, it was always in South America. I think always in Brazil. That's simply where like the investor that's simply where the investor that funded it was from. So there were like Brazilian wildcards. Even Guilherme Clésar did very well. But yeah, it was a fun event. Of course, I wish it was there. I actually, inquired about like the reasons why it's not held anymore. And basically, well, for one thing, it just kind of again requires a private investor who would give a lot of money to that. And there are some issues with the organization in terms of, well, the next gen finals. Oftentimes, these two events would have, some sort of correlation, between the fields, some sort of overlap. And also, it's just really hard to get everyone to play in, for example, that was, South America. So mostly you would have guys who played on clay. Because I don't know if I think I was chatting about this with a guy from the ATP in 2021. So like we were basically assuming that someone like Talon Griekspoor won't really fly over to South America to play there, right? Or I don't know, Benjamin Bonzi, who also would have been in the field that year. So it's not an event that is likely to come back anytime soon. But of course, as a Challenger fan, definitely it was a very cool thing to have, and it's a shame we don't anymore. 5 editions, and the winners were Inigo Cervantes, Diego Schwartzman, Filippo Volandri, Guido Pella, and Cedric Marcel-Stebe. So I guess a very strong field. I mean, all of these guys made the top 100. Probably 3 of them made the top 50. So definitely not bad.
If there was a Challenger Tour finals this year, who would be in it?
That's a good question. And for 2021 and 2022, I actually had the answer.
You didn't do it this year.
No, it's actually not me. It's Jakub used to do it. And, that list sort of, well, I don't want to say died with him, but that's kind of what happens, right?
You kind of just did.
Yeah, I didn't follow up on it. I could still, like, I think I have this Excel sheet somewhere. So maybe for the end of the season, maybe I will. I'm not sure, but I think I still have this somewhere. Yeah, ATP Challenger race.
And how was it calculated? Was it based on points? Like
just points. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if the ATP used the points, just straight up every point, and then they had some different ideas, like maybe like in the normal rankings where you have the best 18 results or something. We actually calculated it just by points, nothing else. And Jakub did it until the 31st week, from what I can see. So it actually wouldn't take that much of an effort from me to follow up on this list. So I think I might. We also have a stats for average points per tournament. It was great of him to do that list. And when he updated it last, it was Max Purcell leading the charge. Then it was Sebastian Offner, Dominic Kepfer, Facundo Diaz Acosta, Hugo Humbert, Andy Murray. And I guess I'll stop there because I just wanted to go to Humbert and Murray, who had the same amount of points.
I mean, if you just went off titles, you've got a few. You've got actually more than 8.
Mariano
with 3 or
Navona
more.
has 5.
Mariano Navona has 5. Sablefield as well
has 4, and that's all with 4, and I guess the rest has 3, or am I forgetting?
Everyone else has got 3. So Max Purcell, Matteo Naldi, Facundo Diaz Acosta, Alexander Kovacevic, Constant Lestienne, Hamad Medjedovic, Andy Murray, Zachary Sfaya, Alejandro Tabillo, Francisco Comasana, and Tiago Tirante. Thank you, certain
Tirante and Comasana, they have 3 titles.
Oh no, sorry, that's included doubles in there.
Oh, okay.
That's included doubles in there. So,
Comasana actually could have believed because he had like a million semifinals and finals, but Tirante, I was like,
I went by the column on the left, not the actual singles column. My bad.
So what's this whole thing about Carlos the Magician, by the way?
Yesterday, there was a live stream from Seville where John and a Spanish journalist named Carlos, I forget which organization he was representing, he did a live stream from the Billie Jean King Cup where they talked about the action from that day and from the previous couple of days. Obviously, John is still on site at Seville with the Billie Jean King Cup. Italy are through.
So was Carlos showing some magic tricks?
I mean, he was just very charming. I'm just going to say that. Okay. He was just very charming.
I mean, I know him, but I didn't see the stream. But he's a Lestienne fan, so maybe there's some connection there. Because Constant Lestienne is an amateur magician. He performs at parties and stuff.
Oh, his Twitter.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that Carlos on Twitter is like the Magician 5GS or something like that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Of course.
That would be why. I just thought it was because of his charm, his Spanish charm.
He has like a completely different handle to nickname. That's why I forget about it.
I need to make sure I follow him. But yeah, so, and by the way, keep an eye out for more Billie Jean King Cup updates. We had one just as Damien joined, or just as the tiebreak started in the first set, where Italy have confirmed themselves through by winning both their singles matches. So it's going to come down to tonight in the doubles between Canada and the Czech Republic. Also coming down to it, Mannarino's got love 30 on the Draper serve, according to the scoreboard.
He had a pretty sick forehand return. No way you're even gonna, make an attempt to track it down.
Yeah. Good insight there from Matthew, who's also bringing us back to the tennis. To the tennis, but to be fair, the tennis on the court, the thing is, this has actually not been too bad for tangents away from the actual sport, because we've talked ATP Finals, we've talked Next Gen, we're talking Billie Jean King Cup, we've talked the French number 1. Absolutely, Italy through after beating Slovenia 2-0, and there will be a showdown with either Canada or or Czechia. Czechs are probably more likely, but I would also love to see Canada in there because that would be such a fun story. And
Slovenia was a decent story, but I mean they kind of scammed their way out of the groups.
I was so happy for Slovenia. I kind of wanted them to pull something off, and Juvan and Zidanšek are really good. They could have done it.
Yeah, Zidanšek on indoor hard though. They've done okay. The semis is a good result for sure. I wonder if this what do we have left? Canada and Czechia.
Czechia,
kind of like a mini final, maybe. No, that's a stretch actually.
No, I think
Stakosic is probably a little too weak for that. Basically, let's just say that Czechia is kind of too strong.
The Czech is pretty favourite. Yeah, I think Italy will give a good go of it because Pauli and Trevisan are strong players. But when the Czech team is Vondrushova, Krejcikova, and Siniakova, that's just a level of depth that, and like you've got so many major titles, even just in doubles there. So pretty good. As Draper seems to be digging himself out of trouble here, and Matthew's absolutely loving this.
The crowd is like really getting engaged as well. And there was a crazy point where Mannarino led this defensive shot from Draper, let's say, go, and then he actually had to hit a winner of it because it fell in and didn't manage to do that. And Draper has just held just a good serve and a put away. And of course, after that, in case you guys don't know, we're going to have more streaming today. We have Umberto Shevchenko in Metz, and then potentially some sort of a ATP weekly version as well. We'll see how long the Metz final goes. But of course, if Draper and Mannarino are still playing, we will wait to tune into the Metz final. Basically, we'll see how it goes.
It's the Metz final due to start in about 15 minutes, right?
37.
37. Yeah, I think it should get done before then. I think
could be more or less around that time. So if you get another tiebreak, maybe not, but it's going to be more or less like that.
I mean, the match is what, an hour? How long's the match been? About an hour and a bit.
Like 140 probably.
5, yeah. Like 1 hour 45 for 2 sets of tennis. I think the first set was obviously a little bit longer. I think it depends if there's any breaks. And Mannarino seems to have steadied the ship.
See you, Ghosty. So John was also there on the stream for a moment. Ooh, and there's a $5 donation, I guess, however it's called, from Ghosty.
Thank you, Ghost. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's going to help us out a lot. And glad you liked the interview with Renee Stubbs. I literally just let her talk. And that's what you got to do with Renee, because she's got so many good things to say. Interesting things to say, anyway.
Yeah. Do you think if I watch it, because I haven't, sorry, do you think if I watch it, I'm going to like her more as well?
I mean, I never had a problem with her, so it depends on what your hesitations are. I would say she says some very interesting things about. Well, she mainly wanted to focus on Jessica Pegula, but she also talked a little bit about Swiatek. Mentioned that she reminds her of Steffi Graf, and then there was a good 10 to 15 minute. Where 10 to 15 minutes where she was passionately calling for new leadership at the top of the WTA.
That's a good topic, actually.
In and of itself is worth listening to.
Yeah. I don't know what else you can really say that's new on the topic, but I mean, even yesterday.
She told us some things I didn't know before.
Okay. Even yesterday, I was drinking with a couple of my friends, and one of them just starts the conversation with me by saying, "Why is the WTA such a organization?"
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, that was a good topic for me. I explained it to him, but basically, they are either women's tennis is just tougher to sell, or the organization is incompetent, which basically probably is.
I mean, I'm leaning more towards the second than the first.
Me too. It's not as hard to sell as they make it out to be. And basically the conversation was, of course, around the WTA finals and why is there such a mess with the event every single year.
Which is now a conversation I've now started again on my Twitter account.
I have not seen that yet.
No, don't worry, you've been traveling all day, but basically I've just asked people to go on and say where they just suggest some places the WTA should go for a long-term deal for the finals.
Mhm.
I've got some plans for the responses, but I'm interested to see. I'm going to crowdsource the suggestions.
Okay. Let's see. Which city do you suggest? Yeah, I mean, someone saying Czechia. Sure thing.
Prague and Ostrava are the most commonly named cities coming up on the list.
Yeah,
Cool.
like I think more important in general is that it's just promoted right and it's set up well beforehand, rather than the exact city probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I suppose for the WTA finals is more about the city than it is about necessarily the nation.
Okay.
In my view, I mean, it's not massively. That's kind of my view on the subject. Is that I think a lot of it is very much the vibe of the specific location they're in. But if you would say somewhere in Czechia, that would do. But
I'm not surprised
in the
people are
UK.
saying Ostrava, Prague, basically.
Yeah.
Interchangeably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Simon's wage is definitely.
Oh yeah, that was a
the
line
whole
from
board.
the Renee Stubbs has claimed in that interview. Bit of a spoiler that apparently the marketing budget for the WTA is less than Steve Simon's wage.
Yeah, and then how can you? Yes, Esteban, of course. So I think Nis and Zielinski have won their match like a long while ago, actually. Yeah,
They
6-4,
did.
6-4, half an hour ago, basically, over Franz and Jebens in the Mets final. So yeah, they've already won. Franz and Jebens in a tour level final, by the way. That must be a first, I guess.
What first? What did you say? Sorry. I'm sorry. The dog next door is barking, so I didn't quite hear what you said.
No, I just said that must be a first for Franz and Jebens to make a main tour final.
Yeah.
That they've played more like 5 times. So.
No problem, Esteban. Happy to help. Also, breaking news: we do have Davis Cup accreditation for when they are playing in Malaga, isn't it? So, yeah, John is taking an extended Spanish holiday by the sound of it. Which is brilliant.
And then to Jeddah for the next gen finals.
Might be a bit hard to get into, but we'll try.
I don't know. That would be funny. I was thinking of it last year, I think, in Milan. Pretty cheap flights. But I'm afraid of that event being just like too main tour-ish and like not as fun as a media member.
Maybe. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Right, Draper is trying to hold serve here. 40-15, 1-2 for deciding set. I had a Twitter conversation with Anastasia about she's going big on Draper in 2024, and my first response was, "Isn't that a bit of a risk given his injury record? Is there any hope it's going to get better?"
Sure. I mean, why not? He hasn't fully developed into like his body, he hasn't fully grown into his body. So yeah, I'm hoping for that too. And basically, since the US Open, it's been much better. He's had issues, of course, when he had that final in Mannarino Captive. Then on the next week in Orléans, he was struggling all the time. He lost to Poulain. The minor match, right? 3 hours in Tokyo, cramping all the time in the last 2 sets. But yeah, I think it is possible. Damien, how many times have you chatted with Hubi? Actually, he has sort of passed me by because by the time I started being interested in Polish challengers, he was not playing them anymore. And I have done an interview with him, but that was only like via text. Basically, we sent him the questions and he got them back to us. So actually, Hurkacz, I don't know personally whatsoever. Oh, I think I might have exchanged like 2 or 3 words with him in Marseille 2020 when I was there, but it wasn't, just like small talk because, hey, I'm from Poland or something like that, whatever. But yeah, I don't really know him personally at all. I don't think he would know who I am or something like that. No, probably not.
Everyone should know who you are, Damien.
No, I just think, Polish players for the most part probably more or less do, but no, Hurkacz definitely not. I started, I think since Sopot 2019, which was in the summer, I have been to every Polish challenger, and he actually won, not won, but made the semis in Poznań just before that streak started for me. So yeah, I haven't really watched him all that much live, even only Marseille, a couple of matches in 2020.
Go insight. Well, get Damien on the ground for talking tennis at some bigger events. If we can pry him away from the Challenger Tour.
I don't want to.
You want to stay on the Challenger Tour? Where are all the? Tell you what, we'll get Damien will meet the next Polish men's tennis star. Damien will meet the next Polish men's tennis star to follow on from Hurkacz.
Yeah, of course. That's more or less that's what I'm more interested in than how they do once they are actually at the top.
I mean, I would imagine there's probably quite a bit of hope for Polish tennis players coming through with Świątek and Hurkacz being top 10 players, having some success, differing levels, of course, but I mean, maybe it won't happen in the next couple of years, but you could see it in the next 10.
Maybe. Definitely, there are some 14, 15-year-olds who have been doing extremely well. Last week we had in the under 14 European Championships, we had Basia Kostenska in the final, but it's so early to tell. I think Barcheta is very likely to be a top player, though. He made the semis in Australia this year, in the juniors, and I think compared to, well, he's one of these juniors who just blast every ball and don't care. So his style actually isn't that effective at that level because, as we know, that's where the Liam Brodys and the Filip Pelivos of the world shine generally, juniors, Bruno Kuzuharas. So I think Barcheta probably will be there, and with him I actually have a cool story because actually after I did a post-match interview with him after he won his first ATP point. So,
oh wow.
Once he becomes a top player, I'm gonna be throwing that around every single day, and I do have quite a lot of confidence in the fact that it's possible. Who is my favorite player? Used to be Federer, Karlovic. Right now, I mean, I just like all of the sort of exciting youngsters with aggressive games. So I don't know. Throw me a Maroshan, throw me a Watanuki, Ibing Wu. I don't know if Shevchenko qualifies as an aggressive game, but I definitely like him a lot too. Arthur Fils, Alcaraz as well. Some of these guys, but I don't know if I have my favorite. I have my favorite Polish player, although honestly, recently I'm kind of done with him. Basically he finishes his season every single year after the Szczecin Challenger. And also, maybe the other thing, I don't even know if I want to talk about it, but there's been a few matches this year where I don't know if I trust him anymore that he didn't fix a certain match in the past that was sort of raised questions in Braunschweig in 2018. So I don't really have a favorite player right now. There's definitely a bunch that I enjoy watching, but I don't know if I do really. Hi guys, enjoying the chat, but been wondering who is responsible for hiring and firing at the WTA and ATP. That's an interesting question. I mean, there must be some sort of board of directors, right?
I've not delved enough into the structure of the organization, of either organization.
There's a board. They choose their CEO, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
Like,
as
there's
it
a
works
board.
everywhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, tennis is weird. Like recently we had these ITF elections, right? And everyone is just complaining about David Haggerty, and yet he gets picked like with an overwhelming lead. So
Yeah. So, yeah, wish we could answer that question. But as far as we know, it's Andrea Gaudenzi on the ATP Tour and Steve Simon on the WTA Tour. But it's probably more complicated than that.
John, am I available for Rune Novak tomorrow night? Maybe. The thing is, no, actually tomorrow should be fine, because the thing is that I'm going to be here in Sweden for the next week, and I don't know yet when the Challenger days will be over. It's an indoor event, of course. So the main idea is that the first slot's definitely not no good for me. The second, we'll see. But tomorrow should be fine because they're starting fairly early, and they just have 4 matches, one court, 4 matches, second court, 4 matches, third court. So I think by 9 p.m. I will surely be done. Hopefully by then I will also be able to use my credit card and not have to rely on eating McDonald's all day like I have to do today.
Okay, well, we now know not to send you McDonald's.
No, I'm gonna be sick and tired of McDonald's after I eat this one more burger that I have here. But my card works there, and it doesn't in grocery shops. I have already written an inquiry, I guess, to my bank, so hopefully it's gonna be much better. But I mean, I just hope that tomorrow I'm gonna figure this out. There's a big grocery shop next to the courts, so
we'll send you the $5 that Ghosty donated.
yeah, it's not gonna help. I don't think. It's just the fact that I can't use the card.
We tried. Jack Draper having going from being comfortable to not so comfortable by the look of it. I mean, has there really been much? I mean, we've been chatting a lot around tennis stuff. Has there been much in the match worth commenting on?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been too concentrated. That's true.
Neither have I. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't been able to watch it, so.
Okay. Yes, but we don't need to tell everyone that.
Yeah, if someone joined midway. But we've covered many other topics, so it's fine. We have to tune in now because it's deuce on the Draper server.
Yeah, this is going to be make or break because, Jack Draper needs to hold on here. He's under a little bit of pressure serving second, as Matthew talked about earlier. And obviously he won that second set.
Ooh, and that's a double fault. First of the match, actually. Also.
Not bad after about 2 hours.
Yeah, but it could be one that has, major consequences and
worst time to start.
The scoreline, in the outcome in a terrible fashion for Jack. I will see. Ooh, and that's another one of these sick forehand returns from Mannarino. So when Jack is going on the outside for the sliced serve, Mannarino is basically right there with the forehand down the line, and he does that again to Draper. Second time in the set, probably more occasions in the match even that maybe I did not see. How much of my typing can you see? Can you hear at the moment?
I couldn't really hear much. So
okay. So moving the mic away helped. That's good.
Yeah. We are making progress here. Welcome to the most professional tennis stream ever made.
I mean, I'll probably type more after, during the break between the two streams. Not right now, but just testing, to be honest,
I have been on streams that have been much more of a car crash, or a squirrel crash in some cases, in reference to the Isabel incident from earlier in the year, which is interesting. So. But yeah, so Mannarino is now serving with a break at 4-2 and looking like setting himself up for a very, very nice end of season for him. I mean, I did look at the match and I went, that's going to be a tough one for Draper. I mean, I was impressed that Draper got this far, to be honest. I wasn't expecting him to. Actually, that's a lie. I did think he had the capability of it, but I thought Struff was going to be more of a challenge than it was.
Me too. I thought Struff Draper is like a 50-50 match. I was very surprised with how it was priced as well. The way I saw Struff, the way people saw Struff Draper was more like I saw Musetti Draper, whereas actually Struff I thought was going to give him a lot harder time. Yeah, especially coming off Bergamo. It's Jack Draper. You sort of expect him to at some point struggle physically, but hasn't really happened so far. Like obviously he's not as fresh as a daisy here, but neither is Mannarino really. And just costly errors now. Maybe nothing crazy with this slice down the line, but he's in a desperate situation and just can't really afford to be giving Mannarino points for almost nothing.
Matthew definitely supporting Draper here. Is it unfair to call Mannarino a pusher?
Sorta. He's just super weird and makes you uncomfortable more so than that, I think. But he is aggressive most of the time.
I was saying to Anastasia before you joined the stream, like I think it was near the beginning of the stream. So apologies to those of you who have been here since the beginning, already heard this story. I first came across Mannarino in 2011 when he played the Queen's Club quarterfinals against James Ward. And Ward won in 3 sets. But there was a second set tiebreak that ended up being 16-14. I think it was like 6-2, 6-7, 6-4 the score. Yeah, I remember watching that and thinking, good grief, this is a proper battle. And like at that time, James Ward was doing that thing he did where he peaked around Wimbledon. And so I was like, okay, we'll keep an eye out. And like so every time I saw Mannarino's name for like the next 10 years, it was like, oh yeah, he's that guy who got into that massive, who's a bit of a scrapper. But
I guess that's kind of what most people had with James Ward, but in terms of that Isner match at Davis Cup.
Yes, Davis Cup. Yeah. Oh, I remember that. I again, as a Brit, I enjoyed that.
I think everyone enjoyed that. I think that's really one of the Davis Cup classics of our age.
But that was the one where the US, like we were going. Was that the same one where we were like, why did the Americans pick clay as the surface?
That was not on clay. No, it was indoors.
There wasn't clay. There was a Davis Cup tie where the Americans picked clay as the surface and on a home tie, and then they lost, and everyone went, "Why did you do that?"
Possibly, but no. I think Ward Isner was just a quick indoor court, and it was like 15-13 in the fifth set. Sorry, because that was in the good times when we still had 5 sets.
In the good old days where tennis could last for 5 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours. Which it still can.
Well, and maybe Jack Draper is trying to make this match run for that long. Just fired a huge forehand return winner himself. But 30-40, and there was also a pretty stunning shot 2 points earlier from Draper. Another forehand, but this time a rally ball that just barely caught the line and was taken right after the bounce. And second serve for Mannarino now at 40-30.
Okay, yeah, I was going to check the score. I was like, wait, what?
Ooh, yeah. Just a kind of random error from Draper, honestly.
And Jane's asking if you've seen the next in wild card, the Jordanian guy.
Abdullah Shelbike, yeah, sure. He's really crafty, lefty, which really goes for him. Like it's important in his game. Challenger final at the beginning of the year, Manama beats Thanasi Kokinakis along the way. Challenger title recently, first in Charleston, beat Oliver Crawford in the final. Layal in the opening round, that was a good win from behind. I think when he, we'll see what the conditions are in Jeddah. like in Milan, I wouldn't like his chances to hang with these guys really, because it's just gonna be a little too fast for him. But Jeddah, I have no clue how the courts are going to play. If he has just a bit more time to work his magic, he beats who was it, Elias Imer this year in Banja Luka for his first ATP win, I think, and then lost to Kecmanovic. This week he won a match as well, and then lost to Sonego maybe at the ATP level. So I think he's definitely good enough to be competitive, unless the courts are super fast. And I like the wildcard. Actually, even a few months ago, because the rules have never really been specified, right, about the next gen wildcards. Like we sort of noticed the pattern that when Italians did not have a player in the field, then that's when they got wildcards. So Caruana, Quincy, Sinner. But then when they actually had an Italian in the field, they weren't using the wildcard. With Saudi Arabia, we had no idea. I mean, there's no Saudi Arabian player that you can give it to. So actually, just like a few months ago, when it was announced that the Nation Finals were going to be in Jeddah, I remember thinking that okay, so they might give one to Shelbach, because that would like regionally make sense, and I think he can be a big draw for that market if he keeps getting better. And yeah, I guess maybe a fun fact to know is that he's friends with Shelton. They played college together, but just like Ben, he didn't last there for too long. He quit fairly early. Maybe he had one more year than Shelton. No, or did he? No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. And he is a product of the Rafa Nadal Academy as well.
Yes, I think I knew about that. I think Anastasia mentioned that earlier on the stream. So exciting prospect for Middle Eastern tennis, for sure. And
I mean, with every single thing he does, he basically breaks a record, because he just constantly breaks the record of the first Jordanian player to do something.
He did something.
Yeah, I mean that first top 500, first top 400, and etc. Of course, then first challenger title, first challenger final, first ATP match won. Basically, there weren't really any Jordanians to speak of before him. So yeah.
No, I don't think I've been aware of any.
No, I definitely don't know any other Jordanian tennis player than him. But yeah, he did show up quite well last year. Especially that Mallorca challenger where he got a wild card because he's Rafa Nadal Academy, beat Stricker, made semis maybe. Yeah, that was like the start of Abdullah Shelbach as a high quality prospect.
Well,
no entry in the airport.
Okay. I don't know who this is.
Hubert.
Yeah, because of course he has to be there.
Yeah, but maybe he will actually play. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it's looking very, very possible.
This is the first real moment when we have someone in doubt, right?
Yes, which I didn't think there would be this time, but I thought they were all fairly fit. I wasn't aware of Tsitsipas having kind of injury issues up to this point.
Yeah, definitely didn't show in Antwerp and Paris, which were some of his best events in a while.
Yeah, exactly. That semi-final one was pretty good. Draper's managed to extend the match, so now it's pressure on Mannarino to serve it out at 5-3 in the decider. I think what we're probably going to do is we'll probably when this match is finished, we'll probably do a very quick wrap up of it and then end the stream. Just as I know we'll be jumping over to Metz and Damien needs some time to settle in to it. So sometime you've literally just walked in, my friend. So
more or less, yeah.
Unless of course Draper has other ideas because he's just won the first point.
Yeah, we'll see. 5-3 Mannarino looking for his third title this year, and he actually used to have a horrible final record as well. Here he missed a forehand drop shot with some pretty good running actually from Draper. The previous shot he didn't have to get to it, but now Draper guesses wrong on the Mannarino first serve, and it's an ace. He really went to the slice serve out wide. Very popular, of course, direction for lefties on the outside. And Mannarino actually went down the tee with it.
Yeah. So Mannarino 3 points away from sealing a third title of the year. To cap this off for him. What's he going to do?
Yeah, a little bit of sloppiness on the forehand cross court from the Frenchman, but he hits that shot so flat that it has zero net clearance anyway.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that his game works so well on grass and indoor hard.
Yeah,
because it's either really flat or it's a junk ball, and both work well on low bouncing surfaces.
Absolutely. What works well on any surface is this Jack Draper forehand on the line here. That gives him 2 break points. A great sort of slice rally, and then Mannarino just opens up the angle. Good combination of spin and pace as well. It was actually quite top spinny as well. So we are at 2 break points, Jack Draper.
Yeah, big chances for Draper to keep this going. That would be a bit of a turnaround, wouldn't it? Given the way he kind of dropped that match, sort of dropped the advantage.
Mannarino saves the first breakpoint. Unreturned serve. One more look for Jack. Will this be the common slide serve out wide Mannarino breakpoint save here? Yeah, that's what he set up for, even with the positioning. But Draper is back in the point, actually. Goes back and down the line. He has Mannarino sort of on the back foot. They're back to trading pretty neutral blows, and Mannarino's backhand barely cleared the net, and it was, 10 centimeters at best above it. And it did put Draper in a pretty uncomfortable spot, from which he kind of didn't have a choice but to go down the line, and he nets that shot. So back to deuce.
Back to deuce indeed. The crowd getting much involved?
Not after this one. I think they sort of want to Draper. I mean, they just want Draper to extend the match, right?
Yeah.
They're already there in Sofia. Why wouldn't they?
Again, conversation topic from earlier. We were talking about how we were Anastasia and I were surprised how little Grigor Dimitrov had played the event. He'd only played it twice in its history.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, I was always wondering why. Of course, this year he probably would have withdrawn after Paris anyway. But especially when he won in 2017, it did seem like he should be playing this event a little bit more. It has undergone some schedule changes like almost every year recently, so that probably doesn't help either.
I mean, it wasn't originally going to be here.
Yeah. And last year it was around September, October. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Maybe that contributes. But yeah, I certainly wish that Dimitrov showed up here a couple more times. He basically got here in 2017 only to defeat Jerzy Janowicz with this super lucky backhand flick pass. And then he disappears off Sofia. He did that. I'm sure he did it exactly for that reason.
Who knows why anyone does anything?
Will Draper save himself? It's like a very similar shot to this previous backhand crosscourt from Mannarino, which barely bounced. And again, the angles just eventually make Draper lose his mind here. He tries to go again, he forces him to go for this forehand down the line opening. He misses that. So Adrian Mannarino, third title of the season, and potentially a top 20 finish, unless Ugo Humbert wins Metz.
Yeah, interesting times for French tennis. Obviously, not necessarily been a massive. Sorry, not necessarily had best of luck with it, but yeah, great job. It's already been updated. So yeah, live ranking of 20 for Mannarino. Yeah, that would be. I don't think anyone would have predicted Mannarino as the top French tennis player. But yeah, they'll.
I remember that people. I think he was in the conversation. Actually, you know what I have to do? I have to try to find who I picked because this was a conversation on Twitter at the beginning of the year, and I wish I remembered who was my idea. But
Is this your end of the year prediction?
yeah.
Or okay, I meant just career wise, but
Oh, okay. No, because at the beginning of the year, someone posted this question, like who could potentially be the French number one at the end of the year, and yeah, I can't remember what I say. I'm trying to find now if I'm trying to see if I can actually find it on Twitter or not. But
well, I think while Damien's digging that out, maybe this is a conversation we can take over to Metz as we see whether Hugo and Bear can take it over. So thank you for joining us in part 1 of our Marathon 3 stream afternoon, where, as Damien said, we'll be looking at the two ATP Finals and Metz, followed by ATP Weekly with Damien and Mario. There is going to be a third, so there'll be keep an eye on the channel for the stream of the Metz final with Damien back in control. But absolutely brilliant to have you with us as we watch Adrian Mannarino win his 3rd title of the year. Thanks everyone for joining the other stream to keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.